Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today for our presentation on basic web programming with JAVASRAPT. This is the first slide, so I just want to start by introducing the topic and what we'll be exploring together. We'll cover the essentials of JavaScript, how it powers dynamic websites, and some practical examples to get you started. So, let's dive in and discover the fundamentals of web programming with JavaScript. Let's take a look at the contents of this presentation. On this slide, we're focusing on two main topics, WebPAGE and HTML. First, when we talk about a web page, we're referring to the individual pages you see on the internet. These are the building blocks of the websites we visit every day. Every web page is designed to display content like text, images, videos, and more, all structured in a way that makes it easy to navigate and understand. Now, moving to HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. This is the core language used to create and structure those web pages. Think of HTML as the skeleton of a web page. It provides the necessary framework to organize content and define how things appear on the screen. Understanding HTML is fundamental because it's what makes a web page functional and visually coherent. Connecting these points to our overall theme, knowing what a web page is, and how HTML works gives us the foundation to build and customize our own websites. It's like learning the blueprint before constructing a building. By mastering HTML, we gain the ability to design engaging, well-structured online spaces that serve our needs or those of our users. Welcome to this part of the presentation where we dive into the introduction to web pages and HTML. So, let's start by understanding what a web page actually is. Essentially, it's a digital document that you view in your web browser, containing various types of content like text, images, videos, and links. Now, HTML, or Hypertext Markup Language, is the foundation of all web pages. It's what structures and organizes this content so browsers can display it correctly. Think of HTML as the skeleton of a web page, giving it shape and form. As we go through this, keep in mind that HTML is the building block for creating websites, which is a core part of web development. It connects directly to our overall theme of understanding how the web works behind the scenes. By mastering HTML, you gain the ability to create and customize your own web pages, making it a crucial skill in the digital world. So, in the upcoming slides, we'll explore how HTML is written, structured, and used to build the websites we use every day. Let's begin our session with an opening prayer. I'd like to take a moment to thank God for this wonderful day. It's important to acknowledge His love and guidance in our lives. We pray for His protection over our families, teachers, and classmates, asking Him to keep us safe and well. We also ask for His help as we learn today, guiding us through our lessons and helping us understand new things. Our goal is to grow, learn, and enjoy our time together in class. Finally, we close our prayer in Jesus' name, trusting that He hears us. This prayer sets the tone for our whole day, reminding us to start with gratitude and openness to God's guidance. Let's take a closer look at the web page. This slide emphasizes the importance of a well-designed web page as a central component of our digital strategy. A web page isn't just a static online presence. It's often the first impression potential customers or clients will have of our brand. That's why key points include making sure the content is clear, engaging, and easy to navigate. We want visitors to quickly find what they're looking for and feel confident in our offerings. Highlighting the most important concepts, such as user experience and accessibility, helps us connect with our overall theme of effective digital communication. When your web page is thoughtfully designed, it supports the entire marketing and engagement effort, making sure our message resonates and drives the desired actions. Ultimately, a strong web page is a powerful tool to build trust and credibility in today's digital world. The web, or the World Wide Web, is essentially a vast collection of electronic documents that are accessible from anywhere in the world. These documents are what we call web pages. Now, web pages can contain all sorts of content: text, images, sounds, videos, and hyperlinks. Hyperlinks, also known as hypertext, are the clickable connections that take us from one web page to another, creating a web of interconnected information. Moving on, when we talk about a collection of related web pages that are linked together, and can be accessed as a single entity. We call that a website. Think of a website like a book. The homepage acts like the cover or the table of contents, giving you an overview and guiding you to different sections of the site. So, in the context of the overall internet, these web pages and websites are the building blocks that make up the entire web experience we navigate daily. They connect information, making it easy for us to find what we're looking for and explore related topics seamlessly. Let's take a closer look at HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's the foundational language for creating web pages, and understanding it is crucial for anyone interested in web development. HTML uses a series of tags to structure content, like headings, paragraphs, images, and links, making it possible to organize information in a way that browsers can interpret and display properly. One of the most important concepts to grasp is that HTML provides the skeleton of a web page. Without it, there's no structure for the content. It's also the starting point for adding styling with CSS and interactivity with JavaScript, which we'll explore later. As we progress through this presentation, keep in mind that mastering HTML is about understanding how to communicate effectively with the browser, ensuring your content is both accessible and well-organized. This foundation supports all the other aspects of web development and is essential for building functional, user-friendly websites. Now, let's talk about the HTML body tag. This is a fundamental part of every web page because it defines the main content that will be visible to users. When we open the body tag, we're essentially telling the browser, "Here's what I want to display." Everything inside the body tag, from headings and paragraphs to images and links, will be part of the web page's visible content. Understanding the body tag is crucial because it connects the structure of our HTML with what users see and interact with on their screens. So, in the context of building websites, the body tag serves as the container for everything that makes our site unique and engaging. Let's talk about HTML, which is the foundation of all web pages. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the main language used to create the content you see online. Think of HTML as the skeleton that gives structure to a web page. Now, an important feature of HTML is hypertext. This allows us to create links between different web pages, making the web interconnected and easy to navigate. So, in essence, HTML is not just about creating static content, but also about enabling the dynamic and linked nature of the internet we rely on every day. This ties into our broader theme of understanding how websites are built from the ground up. Let's talk about markup. Essentially, markup is the process of inserting formatting instructions into a document. It's a crucial step because it helps shape how the final text will look. The origins of markup go way back to the days when book and magazine publishers would make special marks on authors' manuscripts. These marks served as instructions for typesetters, guiding them on how to properly format the text. Think of markup as a set of signals or codes that communicate exactly how the content should appear. It's a bridge between the raw text and the polished, formatted document we see at the end. Understanding this process helps us appreciate the importance of clear, organized instructions in publishing and digital formatting. It's all about ensuring that the author's intent is communicated accurately through the formatting. So, in the bigger picture, markup is a fundamental part of how we transform raw content into a professional, visually appealing document. All right, let's talk about HTML tags. Most of them come in pairs, which means you have an opening tag and a closing tag. Think of it like opening and closing a door. You start with the opening tag to mark the beginning, and then the closing tag to signal the end. The key point here is that the closing tag is very similar to the opening one, but with a little twist. You add a / inside the angle brackets. This simple change tells the browser, "Okay, this is the end of this particular element." Understanding this pairing is crucial because it helps the browser interpret your code correctly and display your web page as intended. It's a fundamental concept that keeps your HTML organized and ensures everything appears just right on the screen. Attributes are essentially modifiers that you place inside the opening tag of an HTML element. They help us provide additional information or specify certain behaviors for that element. The key thing to remember is that the value of each attribute is always enclosed in quotation marks. For example, if you want to add a class or an ID to an element, you'd include those as attributes within the tag. This makes your HTML more flexible and allows you to customize elements to suit your needs. Understanding attributes is fundamental because they give us control over how our content is displayed and behaves. So, whenever you're writing HTML, think of attributes as the way to add specific instructions or properties to your tags, making your web pages dynamic and well-structured. All right, let's talk about different types of HTML commands or tags that you'll encounter. First, we have the empty tag. This type of tag doesn't have an end tag or a closing command. It's like a self-contained element that performs a function without needing a pair. For example, tags like line breaks or images fall into this category. Next, we have the container tag. These are a bit more involved because they require an end tag to close them. Usually, container tags come in pairs, an opening tag and a closing tag, to enclose content or other elements inside. Think of it as a box that wraps around some content, making sure everything inside is grouped together properly. Understanding the difference between these two is key because it helps us write correct and efficient HTML. Empty tags are quick and simple, while container tags give us the flexibility to structure more complex content. This distinction ties into the overall theme of building well-formed, organized web pages. Let's take a closer look at the basic structure of an HTML document. At the very top, we have the title of the page. This is what appears in the Browser tab and helps users identify your page easily. It's a crucial element because it sets the context for everything else on the page. Below that, there's the main content of your web page. This content can include text, images, links, and other elements that make your site engaging and informative. When building your HTML document, it's important to organize this content properly within the structure. Understanding this basic layout is fundamental because it forms the foundation for creating well-structured, accessible, and easy-to-maintain websites. Remember, the title helps with SEO and user experience, while the content is what visitors come to see. So, mastering this structure is a key step in your web development journey. The head tag is used to define the header area of a web page. Now, it's important to note that the content placed inside this header section isn't actually displayed within the main part of the page that visitors see. Instead, it's used to hold information that helps the browser and search engines understand the page better. For example, things like the page title, meta descriptions, links to style sheets, or scripts are often included here. Highlighting this point is crucial because understanding what the head tag does helps us organize our web page more effectively. It ties into the overall theme of structuring web pages properly to improve both usability and SEO. Remember, even though the content inside the header isn't visible to users directly, it plays a vital role behind the scenes. Now let's talk about the title tag. This is actually placed inside the HTML code of a web page. The key thing to remember here is that the information you put inside this title tag will be what appears in the title bar of your browser or in the tab at the top of your window. It's a small detail, but it's really important because it helps users identify your page easily. Think of the title as the headline for your web page. It gives a quick snapshot of what the page is about. When someone bookmarks your page or sees it in search results, that title is what they'll see first. So, in the context of our overall presentation theme, creating effective web pages, this is a fundamental element. Making sure your title tag accurately and clearly describes your page not only improves usability, but also boosts your SEO. Remember, a well-crafted title can make a big difference in attracting visitors and guiding them to the content they're looking for.